I'm really excited to be here today. I'm so happy to see all your faces. You're all smiling and you look wonderful. We have such a good-looking group of people. I'm here to talk about the future of First Team. And there's a lot to go over because we're investing a lot in our future. So I'm super excited to kind of talk to you about what we have going on. No, I don't think it is working, Hadley. I think you're going to have to walk me through it. So what does it take to have a great company? The three things to have a great company is discipline, vision, and putting people first. So when we talk about discipline, anybody who knows me knows that's my favorite subject in the whole world, discipline, because I think it is imperative in this business to be disciplined. If you don't have discipline, who's going to make you get out of bed? Who's going to make you come into the office? There's no clock that you punch in and punch out in real estate. It's a tough business to be in. It's tough right now. If you don't have the discipline to persevere in this business, you won't make it. So it's important. It's really important for a company too. So when you're disciplined as a company, it's really trying to figure out, what am I really good at as a company? What are we really good at? Have you guys ever read the book Good to Great? Anybody Good to Great? So you know about the hedgehog concept, where the fox is smart and he knows a lot, but the hedgehog knows one big thing. What is our one big thing? What are we good at? We're good at building careers. We're good at coaching. We're good at training. That's what First Team is good at. That's what we're great at. That's what we are the best in California at. So we need to be disciplined and stick to what we're great at. Once we discover, oh, no shiny pennies. It's hard to read this, so you're gonna have to bear with me. It's like, what? Okay, so no shiny pennies. And we get distracted so much in real estate with shiny pennies. I know that. And I'm gonna show you some shiny pennies, I'm sorry. We do have shiny pennies. I kind of feel bad to say no shiny pennies, and I'm gonna show you a bunch of shiny pennies, but what do? Technology is a helper, but it's not what's gonna make you successful. Okay. So vision. So it's important, a vision is a clear mental picture of what could be, fueled by the conviction of what should be. So we are a company by realtors for realtors. And that used to be how every company was. Remember like 20 years ago? Maybe 30 years ago? No, not even. I even think like 10 years ago. Every real estate company was a company by realtors for realtors. We all were realtors in the business that started our own companies and grew their own companies. That's what companies were. Then all of a sudden, we started getting these people in the business that saw the money we were making, saw the commissions, and thought billions of dollars in commissions. So old school the way those realtors do business, lockbox keys and calling to see a house and all that. We can disrupt this. And then you see these companies get into the business that are supposedly disruptors. No managers, no staff, no offices, virtual offices. So you can work for the cheapest company in Southern California and not have an office, not have a manager, not have training, not have coaching, not know how to write a contract. Those are the people we have to do business with now? I mean, that's not fun. I remember when I heard a video of a guy who started a real estate company that's a VC-backed, now multi-billion-dollar company, never been in real estate, never had his license, never sold a house. And he said in his video, me and my partner were looking for an industry to disrupt. And we saw the real estate industry and all the money those realtors were making. And we thought, this is the industry that we were going to disrupt. And I was like, I was so pissed off when I saw that video. I was like, that's your video to get people to work for you? Are you kidding me? This is a brokerage. It was a brokerage that was in that video. That makes me angry. We are realtors. Cam was a realtor. I'm a realtor. We built this company knowing what realtors need. That's why we're awesome. We're awesome because we know what you guys need. We've been there. We've done it. We're not some VC-backed tech nerd. We actually know what we're doing. We actually know how to write a contract. We've actually been on a listing appointment. That's cool. I love that about this company. And this is how we're going to drive into the future, with the discipline to stick to what we're really good at. the full life cycle of your career. Another thing I love about First Team, I'm just going to talk about what I love. Brand new agents in this business. I tell you what, one of my favorite stories is the story of Lily Campbell. I don't know if you guys know her. I don't know if she's here. I know she's really shy, so she might not be happy about me talking about her. But Lily came over here as an immigrant from China in her 30s, got her real estate license, and over the years, we trained her. She came up in the Huntington Beach office, became the top producer in the Huntington Beach office, then the top producer in Fountain Valley, and then the top producer by units in Orange County. She is amazing, but we get to do that. How cool is that, that we get to do that, that our managers get to do that, that our staff gets to do that? That is so freaking exciting to me. When people say, are you happy with your life in real estate? I'm like, yeah, look what I get to do. I get to help people change their lives, have careers, take their, I don't even know how many people that I've met that were baristas or bartenders that now own a multi-million-dollar house because they got into real estate. Myself, I was a Marine. I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. I came out to California, I had nothing. My dining room table was a milk carton with a piece of plywood over it and a blanket. That was my dining room table for my first Thanksgiving in California. Now I have a vineyard in Paso Robles. I mean, seriously. It's so cool that we get to do what we get to do in this business and what you guys get to do by helping people realize their dreams of home ownership. That is the biggest wealth building, is home ownership. I look at Philip De Matteo, brand new, started with us as a brand new agent. I would say maybe 15, you're so young looking, it's hard to say how many years later. But now he's a #1 agent in Seal Beach. We get to be a part of people's lives like that. That's what's really cool, the full career life cycle. And then the Archulettas and Christian Stubbs, now they have companies. We have agent-owned offices. So it's the brand new agent, the top producer, the team leader, the agent-owned office, and then retirement. We love to help people retire and get residual income. I love that part about First Team, the full life cycle of a realtor. Putting people first. I'm not going to be able to read this. If I look up, I'll fall over. Okay, when you become a leader, you forfeit your right to put yourself first. So every great leadership book you ever read talks about putting people first. That's so easy to do here because you guys are lovely people and you guys are hard workers and we love to put you first, and that's what we're about, putting people first. If you do the right thing, and I believe this all the time, and I tell Cam, because sometimes, Cam likes to watch the dollars and cents, and I get that totally, but I'm like, Cam, you do the right thing, profits will come. You treat people right, profits will come. And we have been probably one of the most profitable companies in Southern California because we do the right thing, we put people first. ABL, always be listening. I want to hear from you, but I'm gonna say but. I don't like to hear complaints without solutions. Because if you have a complaint without a solution, you're just whining. And nobody wants to hear whining. So come to me with a complaint. I want to hear. I had lunch with Pablo the other day and he told me everything wrong. No, I'm kidding, he didn't talk He talked to me and told me what he thinks needs to change and how it could change. And I want to hear that. I'm not there every day in the offices with you guys. I want to hear from you. Don't think I ever don't want to hear. But problem and a solution, please. Don't whine. Unless you're whining. Champions are not made in the ring, they are merely recognized there. That's one of my favorite quotes. It's not just, it's the middle of the night, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Boxing champions, this is a quote from a boxer, and I can't remember who it was. Boxing champions work hard. They're recognized in the ring. They win in the ring. They hold up their hands in the ring. But it's all the work you do when you're not in the ring. And it's all the people that support you. In every ring, in every corner of a boxer, there's a coach, there's a sparring partner, there's a cut man. There's actually 2 coaches, they call him the second. There's 4 people in the ring with every boxer. If you want to be super successful in this business, you need your coach, your cut man, your second. You need your sparring partner. You need those things. If you really want to take it to the next level. If you just want to work for a company that has virtual offices and no managers and no help, how successful are you really going to be? Does a boxer ever get into a ring? Would you get into a ring without being coached, without a sparring partner, and risk getting knocked out? Probably not. Every champion has a coach and those people in the ring with them. Okay, behind the agent. So we have a new mantra, and it is our old mantra, I want to say, but maybe we never verbalized it before. But it's behind the agent. It's your support. It's not first team for the sake of first team. It's first team for the sake of you. It's behind you. It's your support. Everything that we do, everything that we are, is about supporting you and your business. You can go ahead, Lee. There we go. Impressive global marketing. I'm going to go through these fast because I went really slow in the beginning, I think. Go ahead. Leadership. Obviously, you guys know about your leaders, your managers in your offices, how amazing they are. I'm going to talk about them more in a minute. Go ahead. Independence, innovation, taking it through the twists and turns of the up market, the down market. We always do the best in a down market. The freedom to innovate. I'm going to bring Steve up here in a minute, and he's going to talk to you about some shiny pennies. But this is my favorite. You dream it, we help you build it. That's my favorite. That's what I love to do. That's what Cam's about. That's what I'm about. It's helping people build their dreams. Okay. So, we build careers. These are all the agents that have been with us for 20 plus years. All these agents and our staff that have been with us for 20 plus years. Let's give them a big round of applause. So many great people. Okay, so this is probably something you might want to know. What's going on with Christie's? Okay, so Christie's sold to App Properties, or sold their brand to App Properties maybe a year or so ago. And App Properties decided that they were going to take this brand and make it into a franchise. So what is a franchise? Well, I was part of a franchise before I was an independent. Cam was part of a franchise before he was independent. And a franchise, their main goal is to sell franchises. So it's kind of like this. You take your 6%, you send it to New Jersey or Chicago, wherever your franchise person is. They take that money, they hire franchise salespeople, and then they put people competitive in your area. That's what a franchise is. Cam left Century 21 because he was paying his 6% to New Jersey, and they were putting Century 21s right in his market. When you have a franchise as well, everything that you list becomes part of the listing, part of Christie's. It used to be that Christie's was a luxury affiliation for independent companies for their high-end listings. Christie's is no longer a luxury affiliation for independent companies. It is now a franchise model. So if you look on the Christie's website now, you will see that this is what you can find. This one, this one, this one. It's no longer a luxury affiliation. It can't be, because if you're a franchise, that means everything in that brokerage is part of the franchise. So we're independent. We're an independent company. We've been independent for 40 years. We don't want to be part of a franchise. We don't want to be a restricted part of the franchise. We don't want to have you compete with other agents that are part of a different franchise in your market, like all those Keller Williamses that are repeating what the other Keller Williamses, we don't want to do that. So we've decided that we're leaving Christie's. This is who else who have left Christie's. So all the big, Brown Harris Stevens, Long and Foster, Howard Hanna, Michael Saunders, Willis Allen, Hawaii Life, Villa Properties, Hilton Highland. I mean, you can see we're not the only ones. It's just a different model. What franchises need to do, usually, because they want a lot of them, is like Century 21. They like to get, you know, Bob with the 10 agents and Bill with the 20 agents. And, you know, they get a bunch of little brokers. They sell them the Century 21 10-year agreement that's like that big. And that's how franchises work. It's just not our model. It wasn't their model. We've decided that luxury portfolio, and Paul's going to come up here and talk in a little bit. Luxury portfolio is still a luxury affiliation for luxury brokers to be a part of listing their high-end properties. Thank you. They don't take just any properties. They don't just take any brokers. They're an affiliation of independent, like-minded companies. And the list that I just showed you, like one slide ago, all those, Brown Harris Stevens and Long and Foster and all those are all luxury portfolio companies. So we are in very good hands with them. Okay, so what are we gonna do for the future? We're gonna invest in you, like we've always done. And like we're doing so much more now. When the market is down, commissions are down, prices aren't down, thank God, but everything else is down. We're still gonna invest like we've done. We're investing in coaching, training, and technology. So coaching, we are all about coaching you. And I have to tell you this, I love Tom Ferry. He's a great guy, great man, great organization he's built. But I was a Tom Ferry coach for a little while, and I got to hang out with the other Tom Ferry coaches. And let me tell you, they're good people, but good people that are playing in the minor leagues. Our managers are playing in Major League Baseball. The difference between a Mark Kojak, a Dan Sarnicki, a Fred Nassab, that's Major League Baseball, baby. That is Major League Baseball. If you guys are getting coached and paying for it, then, maybe, I don't want to say you're wasting your money because that would be mean to say, but you might be wasting your money. You have the best coaches. These are the best in the business. Best in the business. If you're not getting coached by your manager, right after this, you need to go up to your manager and say, I want you to coach me. Even if you are being coached by an outside person, still go up to your manager and say, I want you to coach me. Because not only do we have the best in the business, we're right now investing in coaching our coaches. So Dan Sarnicki, Bob McCullough, they are every Friday meeting with our managers, and we are training the trainers. So we are offering the best for you guys. Training. So we started our Wednesday training. It's been amazing. I know some of you guys might have started with us and maybe you're like, this isn't great, because I think when we started we weren't great. We're getting so much better. Wednesday training, 9 o'clock every week. It's amazing. You should get on there. Look in first place and see what it's going to be on, and you could determine like, hey, this is something I need to do, or this is something I don't need to do, but make sure you're paying attention to what's on there. Another thing we're doing that's amazing is Jacob Lawler. Where's Jacob? Taking over our Power Curve. He's an amazing teacher. And Power Curve, for some reason, we used to kind of piecemeal it together with like a manager here, a manager there, and I don't know what we were doing, but we're not doing that anymore. We're investing. We're investing in our new agent program. We're investing in our seasoned agent program. So we're investing with Jacob. Another thing we're doing is posting all of our training on First Place. So if you're in Mission Viejo and you want to go to Fred Nassab's business planning, it's going to be online, and the post is going to be online. The class might be live, but it'll say Fred Nassab business planning live or Zoom, and you can go to any other manager's training in the company because we're a team. We work together. I know at times like we get competitive with offices, you know, like who's number one and everything like that. But there's so much knowledge. There's so much knowledge in our managers. Like I said, Major League Baseball players, these guys are. It's an amazing opportunity for you to go and see who is training around the company and be able to be a part of another environment. Okay, technology. So I want to bring Steve up, because I was going to talk about this by myself, but then I decided, no, Steve is better. I was in the green room with him, and I asked him like a couple questions, and he answered, and I was like, oh no, you need to be up here. So this is kind of like impromptu a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask you some questions about technology that we're implementing right now. So tell me about our digital social media ads.
Okay, so we did Roadmap AI a couple years ago, and we learned a lot from it. We learned that 60% of the engagement, the clicks, the leads were bots. So we decided to partner with an AI company, and this is going to be like a through line with our new tools. We're injecting AI into everything we do. But they are able to make sure that we're sending the right ads to the right people, and they're real people. So these are people that are actually interested in your properties. They're finding the people that are searching online in the communities that are similar to your homes. And we're sending them to a landing page that you're on. And if they fill out any form or engage with it, you get that lead. So that's what we're doing for the social media. So what we're doing at corporate with the products we're building is we're doubling, tripling down on your listings. Your listings are your launch pad. We feel that that has been neglected, and we feel that if we can multiply your listings, take what you're doing, take the hard work that you've achieved, and leverage it to get more listings, then we can, as a team, grow our market share in every neighborhood we have listings in.
Awesome. All right, tell me a little bit about ChatGPT on First Place.
Okay, so you talked about our managers, which I believe as well is our secret weapon. And what we're doing is we're able to take all the content that we've accumulated over the past 48 years at First Team and feed it into this AI tool. And it's not just a ChatGPT wrapper, it's our own LLM. If you want to know about that, you can talk to me later, but we're building it off of all the intelligence that First Team has accumulated over the last 48 years. And a lot of that intelligence comes from the managers. And every manager training we have that becomes available on First Place gets ingested into this bot. And then you can just ask it, hey, what's going on? What did Dan say at his last meeting? And it's going to summarize the key points and from all the meetings, from all the managers. You don't get one manager anymore, you get 13. So
Nice, I love it.
yeah.
Okay, so Real Scout. They're doing their new upgrade called Real Scout Pro Plus, and we signed up for it.
Okay.
Do you know anything about that?
Well, Real Scout, they've had a really solid tool for a long time, but they haven't upgraded it much, and they haven't exposed endpoints and made it available to other tools to connect to, and it's been really difficult. So they have like a seamless integration with Follow Up Boss now, which is really nice.
Nice.
And they're also doing the biggest launch that they've ever done since they've launched as far as like new features. Mm-hmm. So I'll let them kind of talk to that, but that's what I know from the Real Scout.
Well, I did talk to Chase Whitney, who's the Real Scout expert. Where is he in here? Okay, so Chase said what he loves about the new upgrade, besides, there's two things. There's auto nurturing, so when it goes into your follow-up boss, and hopefully it'll sync with KV Core too, it will go into your CRM and it'll be auto-nurtured with real language, and it'll be sending homes, and then with the AI tool, it'll know what kind of homes they're looking for and keep sending more homes like that. Then the really cool thing is the seller part of it. So now, how many of you guys use HomeBot? Okay, HomeBot is a great tool. According to Chase, Real Scout's new tool for sellers is a better tool than HomeBot, and it's free for us. So check it out. We're going to be doing training. We're going to have a November 1 training with Steve on his next tool that he's going to be introducing. And then right after that, in November, we're going to be doing a new Real Scout training. So Real Scout used to be just buyers. Now it's buyers and sellers, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. All right, so let's do the video for Home Meta first.
This was generated by
Imagine
AI.
a world where every listing you secure, every property you represent, is an opportunity to sow the seeds of future success. That world is now a reality. For far too long, we viewed listings as individual, isolated opportunities. Enter Home Meta. This game-changing solution does the heavy lifting for our agents. We've shifted our approach from simply listing properties to micro-farming neighborhoods. We partner with our agents on each listing, analyzing the area, identifying key demographics, and automating outreach. Each listing presents at least 31 overlooked opportunities to grow our business. In today's market, every opportunity counts more than ever before. And now, with Home Meta, we're capturing those missed chances. We're monitoring for life events, MLS status changes, and other key behaviors that signal potential leads. Our algorithms target any type of home or owner, monitoring for high equity, divorces, new parents, and more. These algorithms are continually refined to ensure maximum ROI and that no opportunity goes unnoticed. The power lies with First Team. This is more than just a tool. It's a revolution in how we approach real estate listings.
Awesome. So I know that you and Cam have been working on this for like 2 years now? Okay, so tell us a little bit about how it works.
Yeah, it's more than a penny. It's a 1914 Lincoln penny. So Home Meta is designed around knowing, well, let me ask you this. If you went home today and there was on your favorite neighbor's lawn a compass sign, how would you feel? Yeah, it would not feel good. So there's so many missed opportunities by just not knowing the right signals and being able to, should I target them or shouldn't I target them? Because if you don't have that basic data, then you're missing out on so many key components to your marketing. So as you can see here, whenever you get a listing, and this is going to start in November, whenever an agent gets a listing, what we're going to do is we're going to target 150 surrounding homes, the nearest homes around your listing. And we're going to find 15 homes. We're going to present those homes to you to target. 10 of those are going to be based off of high equity. So when I was at Morgan Stanley, I would call lists every day trying to find people that had $250,000 of investable assets. Right? So I had to pre-qualify everyone. Well, Home Meta is pre-qualifying these sellers for you. The moment you get a listing, we're going to pre-qualify and find you 15 prospects that are pre-qualified. 10 of them are going to be high equity. 5 of them are going to be either divorcees, notice of defaults, or affidavits of death. So we're going to give you 5 affidavits of death, and you'll be able to, with a click of a button, target these 15 people. Now, you can upgrade and target all the 150, and we classify them, we segment them, we give you all the niches possible that you can market to them with. We pre-built content in here. Everyone has access to the data variables on every owner. So you can build a campaign that is unique for every owner. We're ingesting over 100 variable data points for everyone. But you can see here, you can look and you can see this person, Stephen Wang, AVM value 716, last sold date 2008, I believe. Average years owned 7. So the law of averages is really important when it comes to listings lately. You're seeing a lot of herd mentality when people are moving. We show you the equity percentage that they have. And then what you can't see is all the way over here, we added a bot And this is a home search AI bot. It's like property GPT. It's like chat GPT, but with searching for listings. So you can say, hey, this person has 67% equity. That's $420,000 cash buyer minus 6% in fees. And you can look in that chat bot and say, hey, I want to find someone, I want to find a home for, let's say, $380,000 in the prime markets in the United States that are currently for sale right now that I can use as a vision to get this person to interact. And it will give you that list. You can take those homes, you can send them an email, you can send them a piece of mail, you can call them, and you now have something that's very valuable and very unique. Another thing that Home Meta does is we geoframe every open house. So if you are trying to find buyers for your listings, you can purchase commercial ads, and you can target these people that are going into open houses that are similar to your open houses in the similar price range in a similar neighborhood. So we are launching this in November for every listing, but we're going to make it available in January for every agent, and it's only going to be $1 a month to get access to the data, and then it's going to be a $1 per mailer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing training on November 1, more in depth. So November 1, 9 a.m. And Steve will be on there and showing you all the more in-depth tools. So thank you for that.
Thanks.
Very shiny penny.
1914 Lincoln.
Okay. So another thing we're doing, it like works sometimes and doesn't work sometimes. I don't know, Hadley. We are elevating our brand. So I know maybe some of you guys have heard about this, but in order to talk about branding and everything brand, I'm going to bring up Marc Davidson from 1000 Watts. So come on up, Mark. You might want a microphone. There you go. And then we're going to come sit over here. I need to sit. My back hurts.
I don't know if it works. Does it work?
Should in a minute. So before we get into our brand, do you guys know who Marc Davidson is? He's a really big deal. Okay? No, he is. If you ever go to any Tom Ferry events, he's speaking at almost all of them. And he's all about branding. The most successful companies in the country hire him. Luxury Portfolio hired him to do their new brand. Leading real estate companies of the world, Berkshire Hathaway, Sotheby's. Who else have you done? You can brag about yourself.
That whole list that you had up.
The whole list of all the LPI. He's done some amazing brand
Not
work.
me, I didn't do all that work myself.
He owns the company. He's a big deal, don't let him tell you that. So I wanted to ask you a couple questions about branding. Because I'm not a marketing person. We have a great marketing staff, by the way.
You do?
And I just have to say, everything that you're seeing today was put together by our marketing staff, and they helped me out. I can't even tell you how much. It's been amazing. There was a big time crunch because we took a little while to get the brand dialed in, right? And then we had like 30 days to get all the swag that you guys are going to get in your swag bags on your way out, and to see the new business cards and the new signs and the new listing presentation and all that stuff was all put together like in 30 days. So our marketing, give it up for our marketing department real quick. They're amazing. So what's the difference between branding and marketing?
You're going to start there, huh? With the biggest question of all. Oh God, there's a lot different, but maybe the most salient is marketing is, first off, marketing is a new term for what used to be called advertising. Back when I started on Madison Avenue, this is 1980s, marketing was research. If you're marketing, your marketing department is doing focus groups and surveys and polls, and they're studying the market to determine what to communicate, and that communication outbound is advertising. Somewhere along the line, the word advertising went away and marketing got replaced by it, which now also should still mean research, but it's also communicates outbound communication. But what is typical marketing? It's the stuff you're writing to get people to buy what you're selling. You know what marketing is when there's some kind of...
That's the confetti I heard from last night's party.
When there's
Not-
some
not
kind
our
of direct
confetti.
response, call to action, buy now, learn more, do this, do that, that's marketing. Branding is the stuff you create to make the marketing kind of believable. It's in a world where marketing maybe is the more rational reason why you should do something or buy something. You spoke about this earlier. Branding is all about creating the emotional connection to something and making you feel something about the thing you're going to buy or do. And they're both, I guess, it's marketing, like direct marketing or brand marketing. They're both marketing, but they're operating at different levels and trying to trigger different parts of our brain.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, one thing that 1000 Watt did when they first came over to meet with us is do these focus groups. And they met with different groups of our agents, different demographics, different ages, and they really wanted to get to know First Team on a whole other level.
Yeah.
So what do you think you learned about First Team?
Well, that's a good one. Because I've known your company for a long time, I met Cam a decade and a half ago. When I moved out to California from New York City, we started in Orange County and began to work our way up to Monterey County. I was just driving up and down. The first agent I met was a First Team agent. So I've been aware of First Team. And I always knew what you guys stood for. And then what we learned is that, like, the most important thing, that what you were saying about yourself was real. That the things that you want to own, the things you do best, which is training and building careers, is really truth. It is the truth. And what we learned is that that is true, and that's what people value about you. We also learned that, if I can go there, that Christie's, like, nobody cared about it. That was a brand that had meaning, but no longer, like, they let it go. They just let it go and gave it away. And then as a result of it not having meaning, it lost all its value. And what we learned talking to your agents, it had no real... Sure, it was a page inside your listing presentation that you would cite, but it didn't even have any impact on the marketplace. So it was not a reason why a seller would list with you because you had on page 7 a Christie's logo. And that really gave all of us the freedom to help make the decision you made.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what about brand, or having a new brand, or doing a new brand launch? A, why do you do it every 10 years? And then B, how is that advantageous to our agents?
Okay. This gets into the science of branding. Marketing is a little bit more art. You kind of write cool stuff to get people to buy something. But branding is you really working inside of the people's psyche. So when you think about or study human psyche, we know that people respond to visuals. That's how human beings have communicated since before we had language. We drew things on cave walls, or we drew things on stuff, and that's how we communicated. And we still communicate based on visual. And people subconsciously look at an identity or look at a brand, the assets from a brand. So what are the assets? It's the name, it's the way it looks, it's the signage and the style of this. It's all of the assets and touch points of a brand. They will come to some conclusions about the company based on the way it looks. We all do that. How many of you here wear Brooks sneakers? They're the best sneaker, but none of us wear it. Why? Because the logo is kind of ugly. It's just that simple. Or why do we drive a super expensive car when it's just taking us to work or to the gym or to Starbucks, versus a Kia that can do the same thing, but it's much less? It's status. So, like, that's psyche. So brands have to, like, let go of whatever sacred connectivity they have with the name that they came up with, or the logo they invented or designed 20 years ago, if the visual of it is no longer expressing where the brand is at. So the first team that I met in 1998, when I came out to California, is not the company you just saw up on that screen. And I got a real sense of that when I first started dialoguing with you guys. I met with you, I met with Cam, and I met with Steve. And I got very involved in early discussions with Steve because I was kind of blown away by the technology he was working on and creating for you guys. And I say this truthfully, I work with a lot of companies. Most of them are just using basic vendor tech. So their tech stack is the same tech stack as everybody else's. You guys are crafting something really futuristic, but like tomorrow, as in Wednesday's technology. Your identity, your branding did not really reflect where you're at. And so it needed to change. It's just that simple. You want to send something out to the marketplace about you that is kind of a workhorse for you. So when you enter the house on a listing presentation, there's also a preconceived understanding psychically that First Team is what you're going to tell it is when you're in the room. And the identity had to say that. And that is the job of brand design, is to apply that science of where you are now to be reflected visually.
So what now should the agents do? Now there's a new brand, there's a new look. What do they do?
Okay.
How do they use that to help their business?
Well, the first thing is, I'm going to triple down on something you said. You should talk to your managers if you want any clarity around any of it, because they are super trainers and super coaches and super smart, and they'll fill in a lot of the blanks or talk to you. Or heck, you can contact me. I mean, part of my role is to support this effort. The second thing to realize is like a brand logo is very powerful, but it's also very fragile. And if you don't take care of it and nurture it and guard it, it'll break. So, I mean, imagine like if you had a Coach bag that had a Coach logo that looked nothing like Coach, you would likely not even buy it or be concerned that it's a fake. So there are guidelines that are being created around this new identity. And I was just meeting with Hadley before the event about how guidelines are just guidelines. They're boundaries, but there's like endless possibility within those guidelines to create and extrapolate more beautiful branding from what we created. But don't go outside the lines. So one thing I can share with you is that the more role you take in being the guardian of the First Team brand, the stronger it's going to be for you as an ingredient. Just remember, this is behind you. It is there to support you, but you need to allow it by supporting it. So don't come up with your own variation of the First Team identity to match your identity on your thing and make it look good. It'll kill what everybody else is trying to get from it, which is strength. And the second thing is, if you're going through your own identity overhaul, consider, because we had to do this. When we worked with Paul at Leading RE, we had to create a logo, the leading real estate companies in the world and the LPI logo, to work with all the other brokerages who were using it. So like it supported it. So you might want to think about coming up with something that is reflective of the brand you belong to. Because in the world of like single brands, when it partners with an ingredient brand that's also strong, you just create a stronger overall brand in its entirety.
Awesome.
Did I leave anything out?
I
Because I know
think so.
you have a lot of thoughts about this.
I know. I did. I'm not opinionated. Do you guys want to see it? Do you want to add anything before we go? We can just talk while we're showing slides.
Well, I think just to double down on what I said, we could have taken this all the way to something that could be a work of art. But if it was a work of art logo, it would overshadow you. So the sensitivity here was to create something that had strength, that had structure, that had style, but that when you put your brand next to it, it didn't overshadow you. So please understand that there's always that expectation, like it's like, you know, you're a little kid and it's 3 days before Christmas and the tree is filled with gifts and big boxes and you start to wonder what it might be, and it's oftentimes not what you thought it was. I remember one Christmas my daughter handed back a gift because it wasn't what she was hoping. So like, just please understand that it is an employee of the company, it's a tool of the company, And its job is to represent the brand, but also allow you to sit on top of it as the greatest pillar of strength around the branding. So with that in mind, yeah, let's break it out.
All right. I want to turn the chair a little bit so you can see. And I think they're going to dim the lights a little bit. All right. So here's one of our signs that shows the FT, which we're using a lot, and the first team on the side. Go ahead. Here's another one. So our colors that we're going with are like a blue and a gray, but the gray they call putty. We really are trying to get like a lot of different elements here, like the FTRE, the first team, the FT, just a lot of different options for you guys to use. So it's flexible and it's moldable and you can be very creative with it. All these kind of different options are different things that you can use. In our swag bag, we have an amazing baseball hat with a monogram. And we have just really cool stuff. Go ahead. So colors. That looks really red, but it's not persimmon. It's more of like an orange, but a midnight blue. So our blue is, I want to say it's just a little bit more modern than our Old Navy. Here's some more. Does that look red to you? Yeah. That's not red. So it's just the screen. There's blues, brown, grays, and these are like oranges. And those are just pops of colors that you would use on like social media. Not like a main color, but go ahead.
Michelle, can I just add
Yes.
one thing? If you can go back one slide. What we also ought to think about is like the various different markets you're in, locations, and how to represent coast versus like non-coast. So using like the earthy browns or the sage greens allows you to express yourself in markets that isn't blue ocean. We also ought to think about the world of luxury and what luxury is today. And it's aspirational. It's also, there's a reality that somebody with a $2 million home is not like what would be considered classically luxury, but yet identifies within that realm. So how do we create color that allows you to play across all markets and not be defined by a low end or a mid end or a high end, but you're like in every end? And there are other brands that have done that. I mean, Burberry is one example of a high-end luxury brand that created color palettes that allow them to become more accessible to not always luxury customers. So when you look at these colors, you're also seeing an attempt to move you guys into markets and express your value proposition in a way that like historic or legacy luxury brands would use black and gold or just some color, a very singular color palette to do that.
I think we're clicking at the same time. Okay, so our listing presentation. We will still have the white binder listing presentation, but we also have this brown, beautiful binder, and we have it in front, handmade leather. I know, it's like so pretty. This is gonna be our shorter listing presentation, and it's a 3-ring, you can add to it. It's just really pretty. Just some different expressions. Like I said before, the one thing I love about it is like how you can just throw the FTRE and the monogram and how well it works with luxury portfolio, and it's just, it lets you be really creative. The one thing I love about this is on our team signs, for those of you that have team logos, you can see the first team's like almost subservient to the team, and it's kind of like that whole behind the agent thing. You know what I mean? Like we believe it. We're not just saying we're behind the agent, but our logo needs to be 80% of the sign and yours needs to be 20% of the sign. We're saying we're behind the agent and we're doing it. So these are some of them.
Hey, Michelle, just
Yes.
because this came up. The first team on the side in that vertical orientation. The obvious question is, well, that's a little hard to read, okay, if you're thinking that. But here's the purpose of it. Yeah, it is a little hard to read, but because it's unusual and because no one's ever done this before in a yard sign, in a world where most people drive by and don't really pay attention to the broker name anyway, I mean, reality is people drive by and look at the house. The sign is always like secondary. And so in our mind is like, what can we actually do given the construct of a sign to make the sign a little bit more something unusual to look at? But we also want to stick with the guideline of behind the agent. So by doing it this way, yeah, it's a little harder to read, but because it's a little harder to read and it's vertically oriented, it's going to actually ask to be read, which is so cool about that.
Thank you. This is nerve-wracking, by the way, seeing your reaction. I'm looking at Lauren, and Lauren is smiling, so I'm like, oh, thank you, Lauren. Okay, open house signs. So the first team with the luxury portfolio, without the luxury portfolio, we'll have so much flexibility. That's what I love about the new logo. Business cards. Yay. The brown one, we're putting foil, copper foil on it, so it looks like, normally when I first saw the brown, I was like, brown? That's kind of like ugly. But it looks really cool with copper foil on it. Just some of the other things we can do. I love the FTRE, I love the white on white. This is really cool. I want a dress made of this. Is that not awesome? I really wanted to get swag bags made like that, but we couldn't get it done in time to be full. So the swag bags don't look like that. I'm so sorry. But we are going to make these, and they're going to be on our marketing store for sure. We do have baseball hats. They don't quite look like this, but I like them better, actually. And we have mugs. Oh, I think it's like sometimes my clicker works and sometimes it doesn't. Go back one. One more. Okay. Jeremiah bought a bunch of polos. We're gonna have a lot more swag than we used to have because I think it's a cool brand. I think we want to show it off. Here's just a recap of like how you can use it. There we go.
The goal was to make this stuff look like the brand that is. And I think we succeeded in that, don't you think?
Awesome, I'm glad you guys love it. We're super excited about just launching it, getting it done. I know that, when we do sign exchanges, it's not the most fun thing in the world, but it'll be worth it in the long run. For all of you who have like old beat up signs, you'll be super happy. And we're just really excited about it. We're excited to bring the new first team to the next 20 years of first team into the market. All right, so we have one